My boyfriend, 25M, never gives me 21F aftercare. What do I do? Me and my boyfriend have been together for more than a year now, and let's say our relationship is sexually pretty active. During sex he's really sweet and considering. He always makes sure I'm enjoying everything he does. He makes sure I'm comfortable in everything. But then after he just go play games and almost ignores me. And I don't want to ask him for aftercare because I don't want to sound too needy, but it makes me feel like he's just using me or something like that, so I don't know what to do. Any advice?
Too long did not read. My boyfriend never gives me aftercare and I don't know what to do.
Successful relationships start with great communication. Tell him all those good things you mentioned he does during sex and how much you appreciate it, but also feel comfortable to tell him that you need a little more of his time afterward.
This is not a big ask from you and hopefully he will accommodate your needs. Best of luck. Stop stressing about sounding too needy. Communicating your needs is healthy and 100% valid.
Remember, one of the greatest lies ever told is the idea that sex is about the man.
You deserve it just as much as he does. It's so weird reading a term that was mostly BDSM related to just now mean.
I want to be cuddled after.
Just say that. I don't want to ask him. Do you expect him to read your mind?
This seems like a pretty simple fix by just asking him.
You have to give him the opportunity to understand and make changes.
He's not psychic.
Use your words and tell him what you want perhaps. Is it normal to dislike my 25 female husband, 26 male, 9 months after giving birth?
I, 25 female, have been having some really strong feelings of frustration and disappointment regarding my husband, 26 male, since giving birth. We had our first child last fall and ever since then, I feel like our marriage has been a roller coaster.
I know it's normal with the new stresses of having a child as well as postpartum hormones.
But we're now 9 months into parenthood and I am still easily triggered by things that wouldn't have bothered me prior to giving birth. Some of these things include watching him take his time to get the baby a bottle or something else the baby needs, not responding fast enough when the baby is crying, feeling like he is in his own world and oblivious to the baby's needs, feeling like I'm alone in parenting and he's just kind of there, sometimes watching him get to have fun with the baby for a few minutes and getting annoyed that he isn't the one that sets something up or cleans up afterwards, getting really frustrated to the point that I want to cry whenever someone compliments him on how great of a dad he is.
I do want to add that we are in marriage counseling and it does seem to help a bit. But I just don't know if these feelings are normal even after so many months since giving birth. And if so, how long does this last? I truly love my husband and I know we are both doing our best as first-time parents. I just need to know if I should ride out these emotions or seek some kind of help for my own mental health. I remember being like this only after the birth of my first baby. I was suffering horribly from postpartum anxiety and depression. I will add that I was consuming content that gave way to being a married single mom, and this was really detrimental to my mental health and made the vitriol toward my husband 100x worse. What you need to do is talk one-on-one with your counselor so you can talk freely about these things. What you are thinking and feeling are not wrong, but they are not helpful in building a strong family unit. You sound overwhelmed, and an impartial person to talk to can help you clarify your thinking. Feelings are feelings, what you do about them is what matters. Can you get some time on your own? Sounds like you need a break, a full overnight, so you can shower and lay around and read and have no one to be responsible for. Then maybe in a few months, if you have a trusted sitter, take a night away with your husband so you can reconnect as man and woman. These are some of the hardest days ever. The sleep deprivation, the bills, the lifestyle changes, the poop, the sex, etc. As a husband, I tried my hardest to be there and do as much as I could, but it got to my mind. I thought some bad thoughts those first 2 years. I'm glad you two are in counseling. That should help you get through. Be patient with each other. Keep talking. It really does get better. My wife and I are 20 years together and my son is 19. We are a solid family even with our flaws. From what you've said here, he could definitely help more. However, also if you have concerns about your mental health, I would definitely try and see about getting some help. Red heart postpartum depression is a very real thing that plenty of new moms struggle with. When you say, not responding fast enough, when baby is crying, how long are we talking here? My 19 female boyfriend, 20 male, won't let me wear a bikini to the beach? We have been together for 2 years now.
We live in the UK, so going to the beach and swimming is something we don't do much.
This summer we are traveling to Spain for a month.
I've been so excited and talked to him about how I wanted to go shopping for it.
I casually mentioned how I needed to get a bikini, and he just looked at me and said, "No way you're getting a bikini." He's always had an opinion about how I dress and to not show too much of myself. Which is fine, but at the beach?
If I can't wear a swimsuit, I can't swim.
I said I could buy a one-piece, but he wasn't a fan of that either.
Said we could do other activities than swimming.
I don't know what to do. I love the beach and I love swimming, but now he's made me feel weird about it.
Every time I try to discuss it with him, he just asks why I want to show everyone my body.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Take this from an old lady. This is a one-way path to an abusive and controlling relationship. He has no business in letting you do or wear anything, much less swimwear to swim. You are 19. When the hell else are you going to wear a bikini?
Sounds like an insecure person who isn't very confident in your relationship. Is he going to swim in a wetsuit because you don't approve of men's swimwear?
Him wearing normal men's swim trunks will actually show more skin than the average bikini? Dump him, sis, he's trash.
Won't let me. You have fun with that one.
This turns into, you must,
you will.
Get out or have fun watching this become more controlling and more abusive. He needs to go.
My husband only comments on my attire if I'm not taking weather into consideration.
That's about it.
That's the way it should be. My 26F husband, 24M, does not touch, kiss me. Divorce? My 26F husband, 24M, does not touch me, kiss me or give me compliments. My husband and I have been married since a little bit over a year, and while he was never good at giving me compliments, meaning he just never gives me any compliments, I got to know him that way, and that's just how he is, I thought. He always said he's just not good at it, and I did talk to him many times that I would like at least some compliments every few weeks. He would say he will try, and nothing changed. But as I said, I met him this way, so I can't expect him to change.
But, since many months now, he has also just stopped touching me and kissing me. I always kiss him, like a quick goodbye or hello kiss, or quickly throughout the day, but he gives me a goodbye kiss like once a week if I'm lucky, and that's it.
You know how partners touch each other's back, hip or even ass when walking by sometimes? Yeah, I do that, but he doesn't.
Our sex life is fine. We don't have sex often but multiple times a month, but I always start it. When laying in bed or on the couch I start touching him. Sometimes it leads to sex when I literally ask him, sex. But if I don't ask for sex, he will eventually come from the blowjob or handjob, and that's that. He doesn't start anything with me. He doesn't touch me in that way. He doesn't ask me for sex, just nothing. Our relationship is honestly pretty good otherwise. Of course we have disagreements sometimes, but that's normal. We used to have good communication, and we tell each other if something's bothering us. And I have told him, many times, that this is bothering me and making me feel so unwanted and unattractive, that it has seriously harmed my feeling of self-worth and how comfortable I feel in my own body. And every time he gives me an excuse of too much stress in our life, fine for a few weeks, but it's been this way since at least 6 months, or that he didn't notice and will try to change it. Then he touches me a bit more for a few days, and then it's back to normal within 2 or 3 days. The only thing he does is ask to cuddle sometimes. He will lay on my chest and watch TV, but that's literally it. We used to make out, have foreplay before sex, kiss just because throughout the day, he would touch my back when walking by or my ass when I walked up the steps in front of him. Just those little things, but he does none of it anymore. I have talked to him about it so many times and explained in detail how it made me feel and what I would like him to change. I don't know what else to do anymore.
But getting a divorce over this seems stupid, but I feel so unwanted and disgusting. I feel like there's something wrong with my looks or smell, or I don't even know. I feel so incredibly self-conscious. I have started to go on a diet because maybe that will help. I started to brush my hair every few hours, brush my teeth multiple times throughout the day. I am starting to go insane trying to find the reason. I also don't want to force him to touch me or tell me that I'm beautiful. If he does touch me, for a day or two after I tell him how unhappy it makes me, I can't even enjoy it because it just seems forced. What can I do?
I want a marriage where I feel wanted, but at the same time everything else is good, so getting a divorce over this seems childish. Edit, update.
So I talked to him about it and he basically got upset and told me that I'm always criticizing him and that it's not as bad as I make it seem. He then said if I'm so unhappy I need to decide if I want a divorce, but he won't change anything because it's my problem and not his. Then he walked away. I do not always criticize him. It's honestly just this topic that I bring up every few weeks and that's it. Sometimes I tell him I don't like how he reacts if I make a mistake. For example, if I don't clean the carpet that I wanted to clean because I didn't find the time yet, and he reacts by taking jabs at me multiple times till I do it and makes me feel like shit about it.
I don't think bringing up those two topics every few weeks is always critiquing. Too long did not read. Husband shows me zero affection since at least 6 months and doesn't change no matter how much I tell him it hurts me. Sounds like he is checked out or way too overstretched. Sounds like you need counseling, but if doesn't want to be present mentally it won't do any good. He tells you he doesn't notice going without kissing, touching, complimenting you although you asked for that many times. This means he doesn't really listen to you or he doesn't care. So you'd be justified in leaving him because he doesn't care about hurting you. He's mined your self-esteem and made you feel unseen and unheard. He achieved this by withdrawing little gestures of affection. So the lack of these little gestures becomes a good enough reason to question your marriage. Could be a lot of things going on.
Inertia, depression, lack of attraction, etc.
There isn't a single reason for someone losing interest.
But no, it's not silly to divorce over this. You've talked to him about it and nothing has changed, so he seems okay with the status quo.
You're not, and you deserve feel wanted in your relationship. I'd suggest one more sit down with him and let him know you're thinking about divorce because this isn't working.
Let him know he can't just improve for a day or week or two and go back to this. He needs to open up about the problem and identify ways to fix it long term. If he can't or won't, you need to leave.
I think he's left the honeymoon phase and this is his standard mode.
That's why you never marry someone before 2 years at least, and not before you've lived together for a longer time.
You're probably not compatible.
When you add all of this stuff up, sex, kisses, sweet talk and everything else, you accepted it, probably with the thought that it would get better when married, like so many have done before you. Buyer's remorse in marriage is hard. This is who he is. Low sex drive, low to no romanticism, awkward if best, and whatever else you mentioned.
You can't change the hands of time, you go forward and you decide what's best. My husband and I have gone through this a few times in the last year. We have regular meetings with a marriage therapist, so I highly recommend that. I will say that my husband works a lot, and picked up a side hustle because we are struggling, so he is tired and just doesn't think to be flirty or whatever with me. I get it, but I have had to tell him, hey, you better act like you like me because I feel like crap, and he snaps back into it. We have been married 11 years, and I was married prior as well. Men are just oblivious, blank slates. They need a little knock on the noggin every now and again.